Let's start with a thought experiment. Imagine a parasite, an organism that exists solely by invading a host, controlling its behavior, sapping its energy, and suppressing its capacity to resist. Now, forget biology for a moment. Consider how religion, specifically the Jesus narrative, replicates this machinery in the human mind. What if the benevolent shepherd wasn't leading us to safety, but leeching away our freedom, creativity, and well-being? Parasites don't politely request entry. They exploit vulnerabilities. The Jesus narrative is introduced early, often before a child can distinguish myth from fact. The story is invasive, entering through family, school, public ceremonies, and media. Like a viral agent, it spreads rapidly in susceptible populations. Once inside, it embeds itself in the mental fabric, rituals, prayers, songs, until the host identifies by it. Much like toxoplasma in rodents, the Christian meme manipulates core behaviors. It reframes guilt, fear, and shame as divine attributes. Instead of learning to cope or question, the host is primed for obedience and passivity. Inoculation against questioning comes through warnings of hellfire or abandonment, not rational evidence. Like a parasite suppressing the immune system, religious dogma disables skepticism, rendering the mind vulnerable to further infection. A parasite survives not by offering value, but by siphoning resources from its host. Christianity excels at this. It takes your time with routine worship, prayer, church attendance, and volunteer work that consume hours over a lifetime. Instead of building knowledge or skills, hosts are instructed to endlessly repeat rituals. Rituals serving no measurable purpose outside of maintenance of the faith system itself. Energy. Emotional overhead is immense. Guilt for sin, anxiety over salvation, fear of punishment. These acts as chronic drains on mental health. The parasite rewires the host, directing emotional energy away from authenticity, curiosity, and self-actualization. Thirdly, wealth. Tithes, donations, offerings. These financial costs are extracted under the promise of an eternal reward. Churches accumulate fortunes, while individual hosts surrender scarce resources, often for little tangible return. Like a tapeworm, the faith apparatus demands constant nourishment. Hosts are told this is for their benefit, yet the actual yield, beyond manufactured community, is questionable at best. Parasites propagate by manipulating the host's behavior to enhance their own transmission. The Christian meme compels active recruitment, missionary efforts, evangelical campaigns. Followers are urged not merely to hold faith privately, but to spread the good news relentlessly. Failure to evangelize is framed as failing Jesus, producing guilt-driven compliance. Doubters become targets for reconversion. Apostates are ostracized. The system incentivizes belief reproduction over honest dialogue. Hosts, subjugated by guilt and group pressure, act against their own skepticism to ensure the meme survives in the next generation. Parasite propagation, pure and simple. The most effective parasite disables the host's defense mechanisms. Religion excels at suppressing skepticism, its greatest threat. Critical thinking is reframed as doubt or sin or rebellion. Questions are discouraged. Obedience is prized. Lean not on your own understanding, the scripture says. Translation, suppress your intellectual immune response. Education is often curtailed. Scientific discoveries that contradict scripture are ignored, undermined, or demonized. Hosts who begin to resist, those who read, think, or break free, are managed through fear tactics and social isolation. The parasite fights tenaciously for survival, even as the host's well-being declines. When the parasite infects entire societies, the effects magnify. Cultures driven by doctrinal wars, communities fractured by demonization, disputes, nations legislating morality by ancient mythologies. Social progress stalls, discrimination flourishes. Parasite logic dictates hierarchy and conformity. Those deemed pure hosts dominate. Others are marginalized. Activism, ethics, science, all are filtered through dogma. Instead of tackling real-world challenges, infected societies engage in endless sacred disputes, draining collective energy for the parasite's benefit. The parasite's mental toll is profound. Eternal threats warp psychological development. Children fear hell. Adults wrestle with existential guilt. Personality is filtered through the demands of religious dogma, suppressing authenticity and autonomy. Mental illness is stigmatized or spiritualized, treated with prayer or exorcism rather than therapy or understanding. The host's pain fuels the system. Suffering is misnamed testing, discouraging genuine solutions. The parasite disables coping mechanisms, hijacks identity, and redirects emotional resources towards ritual rather than healing. If parasites offer true benefit, you'd expect positive, reciprocal gain for the host. But religion's promises, salvation, eternity, unconditional love, only materialize post-mortem. In the here and now, tangible benefits are rare. Psychological comfort is fleeting, replaced by cycles of fear and conformity. Material aid from churches is always conditional. Attend, believe, convert. True mutualism is absent. In evolutionary terms, the system optimizes for parasite survival, not for host thriving. Recovery begins when hosts identify the parasite and mount an intellectual and emotional immune response. Questioning, learning, and building community outside dogma are the beginning of real healing. Once critical faculties are restored, resource waste slows, energy returns, and individuality flourishes. Societies recover when they reject parasite logic, preferring secular compassion, evidence, and shared human values. The cure is not new dogma, but open inquiry, self-sufficiency, and genuine empathy. Let's be absolutely clear. The Jesus parasite, like all parasitic entities, exists to propagate itself, not to cultivate the authentic flourishing of its host. Its machinery is subtle, ruthless, and deeply entrenched. But freedom lies in understanding. Hosts can break free, reclaim agency, and restore defenses against manipulation. Religion, once unmasked as a parasite, loses its power. What remains is the opportunity to pursue real knowledge, real compassion, and real progress. The cure is self-awareness. I implore you to purge yourself of this parasite and to thrive. Thank you very much, guys. We'll see you next time.